Hello everyone. Today we are going to present warm-up and stretches before physical activity. My name is Daniel Norseed,
And I'm Sina Matthew,
along with Mina Azard,
and Kira Eschner, and Sim Saini. So the objectives of our presentation is to learn the benefits of static and dynamic warm-ups. And then we'll go into talking about certain warm-ups for specific sports. And then after that, we'll demonstrate the different types of warm-ups between static and dynamic. And then we'll compare the findings of both static and dynamic.
Why warm up? Human movement is dependent on the amount of range of motion a joint has. Motion can be limited by muscle tightness, either from active shortening mechanisms, such as spasms or contractures, or passive shortening mechanisms, such as postural instabilities or scarring. Overall tightness can cause limits in range of motion, which can create muscle imbalances. Stretching as part of a warm-up prior to exercise is beneficial because it decreases stiffness, increases range of motion, increases circulation of blood to the muscle, which causes increased energy levels prior to the activity. In static stretching, a specific position is held with the muscle in tension to a point of a stretching sensation. This can be performed passively as a partner stretch or actively as a self-stretch. Studies have shown that the greatest change in range of motion occurs between a 15 and 45-second hold in the stretch. Some studies have shown that the increase in range of motion during static stretching is due to an increase in the stretch tolerance of the muscle. That is, the ability to withstand more stretching force adapts over time. Other studies show that the increase in extensibility is due to an increase in the actual muscle length. One study has shown that the static stretching increased range of motion by 2.8% compared to dynamic stretching. Another one showed that static stretching combined with heat dramatically increased hip flexion range of motion. A third study has shown that stretching with 15-second holds durations improves balance by decreasing tightness and decreasing postural instability.
There are 4 types of dynamic stretching. There's an active, a ballistic, an active isolated, and a resistance and load. In an active stretch, we are moving the limb through a full range of motion several times. In a ballistic stretch, we are doing a bouncing pattern movement at the end range of the stretch. This is highly controversial because it has shown to increase the risk of injury, but also increase performance. In an active isolated, we're contracting the antagonist muscle to allow relaxation of the opposite muscle, and in the resistance and loaded, we are stretching a muscle group through its full range of motion under contraction. This is seen when we do it with the TheraBand. For dynamic stretches, we usually do them 2 to 10 minutes with 10-second rest intervals in between. So now we will introduce sport-specific interventions. First one, we have static stretching. This is mostly done for athletes like gymnasts and dancers that require a lot more flexibility. Dynamic stretching, on the other hand, is for athletes that do a lot of running and sprinting like basketball players, sprinters, and football players. In a sport like tennis, where the upper extremity is highly involved, dynamic stretching has a better effect than static. Specifically, we observed the tennis serve ball speed, and dynamic stretching showed a greater increase in performance than static. For tennis, athletes usually do stretches that involve jogging with their arm circles, sidestep with arm circles, karaoke drills, knee-high lunges, inverted hamstring drills, backward lunges, arm hugs, leg cradles, straight leg marches, lateral lunges, trunk rotations, and also backward step overs.
Various warm-up protocols are being used by many different coaches, trainers, and physical therapists. The various warm-up protocols include no warm-up, general warm-up, static stretching, and dynamic stretching. Rarely will we see the no warm-up approach being taken, but it has been done. A general warm-up consists of a jog at a preset pace or getting on a bicycle at a preset pace. A static stretch includes standing quadricep stretch, standing calf stretch, standing hamstring stretch, or lying on the floor, knee to chest. And basically, static stretching is stretching of muscle group without dynamic movement. Dynamic stretching, on the other hand, includes standing marches, which are known as Frankensteins, butt kicks, karaoke, power shuffle, and reverse lunge with a twist. The combination of general warm-up, static stretch, and dynamic stretch is known as the dynamic warm-up. A study at Tulsa University was performed in regards to finding out which combination of warm-ups would be best in the performance of a counter movement jump. What is a counter movement jump? A counter movement jump is a jump in a vertical direction having the participants put their hands on their hip and leaning forward. The jump was recorded by the opto jump machine, similar to what is recorded in the 40-yard dash. After the results, it has been shown that the combination of general warm-up and dynamic stretching gave the best results. In regards to dynamic stretching, we have the dosage of 2 to 10 minutes duration and 10-second intervals of rest between the exercises. In regards to static stretching, it's supposed to be 15 to 40-second holds for the best results in flexibility.
60 to 90% of the injury in soccer players happen in the lower extremity, more specifically in the hip, knee, and ankle regions. So you'll see a lot of ACL, MCL, and torn meniscus. In 2003, a program called FIFA 11 was developed specifically for soccer players. It's very simple, easy to implement, and it prevents injury. It's comprised of 10 different warm-up conditioning exercises. A study in Norway in 2008 showed actually that the FIFA 11 Plus program reduced injury in soccer player by 30 to 70%. All right, so what exactly FIFA 11 Plus protocol? FIFA 11 Plus protocol is 3 parts. Part 1 is doing exercises at low speed while actively stretching. So some of the exercises that you'll see in part 1 will be running in straight line, running in circle, running with hip out, running with hip in while changing speed. Part 2 of the program is 6 exercises, as you see on this slide, while we're focusing on the core and focusing on the legs, balance, agility, and increasing difficulty as well. So some of the exercises you see in part 2 of the program is static planks, side planks, squat, vertical, and lateral jumps. The last part 3 of the program, is the running exercise in moderate and high speed while canting and cutting, because the program wants the player to get used to movement on a field.
Conclusion. So when it comes to dynamic or static warm-ups, which one is better? The answer, it depends. In this case, we have to accept the gray, because research is inconclusive about whether one is better than the other. And what does that mean for us as physical therapists? Should we incorporate this into our treatments? Well, in that case, it depends as well. We're not going to be taking our 80-year-old patient and having her do a dynamic warm-up, but she might actually benefit greatly from static stretching. And then when it comes to our athletic patients, they would benefit greatly from a dynamic warm-up before treatment. Overall conclusion is that whether you're just sticking to dynamic warm-up or just doing static warm-up or combining the two, that's better than just jumping into physical activity with no warm-up at all.
The first exercise we have our patient doing is a straight leg march. As you can see, we'll get a really good stretch of the hamstring. Now our patient is doing butt kicks. By doing this, he's getting a stretch of his quad muscles. Next, we got the side step lunge. He's getting a stretch of the adductors. And this is the karaoke drill. And now we have Dina doing the knee hug lunge. We're incorporating some upper extremity into this as well. Next, we have the arm hugs. This is great for sports such as tennis or volleyball. We get a good stretch of the shoulder musculature. Next, we have high knees. This is a great drill for agility and overall general warm-up.